Amid some reported possible money troubles, former President Donald Trump is reportedly selling his Washington hotel. Now, HuffPost reports that the CGI Immersion Group will buy the rights to the Trump International Hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue for $375 million. So, I wonder why he's selling. Oh, right, because it's family. Now, interestingly enough, the building is actually owned by the federal government. See, I didn't actually know that. So back in 2012, the organization actually won a lease to develop into a hotel, which opened in 2016. And then, of course, after he won the presidency, it was involved in some litigation. The Supreme Court, of course, didn't think that there was a problem. You know, the pro-corporate Supreme Court, filled with people like, Alito and Roberts. I'm sorry, Scalia. Scalia died. 2018. Anyway, it's filled with pro-corporatist conservatives. And so, all right, he's selling the lease to the hotel, and so someone else is buying it. Now, after he won in 2016, the property became a gathering place for supporters, lobbyists, foreign investors, or visitors, I should say, who stayed there and put money into Donald Trump's pocket because, well, money is the only thing that Trump would listen to. Cold, hard cash. But once Trump got out of office, turns out nobody wanted to show up there anymore. Weird. Kevin Chafee, senior editor at the Washington Life, told The Guardian back in March, those people no longer have any reason to meet and try to find out what's happening on the scene because the man is gone. Man is gone. It must be like a ghost town. Fun. Hey, look, I love to see it. Because it turns out all the sycophants and suckers went home. He's not president anymore. He's got nothing to offer. No power anymore. No power at all. And of course, look, we know that. That's obvious. Does Trump know that? Probably not. He's so in love with himself, he probably is trying to figure out, where did everybody go? Where did everybody go? I thought there were people there. Well, now how am I going to make money? Now, again, that's not why, well, having a little bit of a meltdown at people maybe hurting his ego is not the reason why he's selling. No, it turns out that I think it's because he's systematically been losing money. In fact, a congressional report found that the hotel itself had racked up $70 million in losses over the last 4 years. $70 million in losses. The House Committee on Oversight and Reform said the Trump Organization had to loan the hotel $27 million and seek preferential treatment to delay payments on a $170 million loan. The Associated Press reported. Womp, womp. Oh, not good. Not good. Also, according to Forbes, Trump has an estimated $738 million worth of debt coming due just over the next 3 years, a total debt of $1.3 billion. So now, the sucky thing is that when you're rich, you could do all sorts of tricksy financial maneuvering, shenanigans, getting loans that normal people can't. So at the end of the day, a lot of financial analysts are saying, well, you know, he's got $1.3 billion worth of debt, but he's still going to be okay. You know, because that's how it works. Again, if you're rich, you can take out tons and tons of debt, bad debt, junk debt, and still somehow remain rich, even though you have all this debt. I know, it's amazing how the system is so incredibly stacked against the rest of us in favor of the rich. But he has lost a lot of money, and that is embarrassing. So let me give you some of the details in this. This is from I believe it was from a Bloomberg report. His real estate empire had lost, according to the report from earlier this year, 26% of its value since 2016. His resort and hotels have lost 42% of their value between the years of 2015 to 2020. I think, you know, partly COVID, of course, which hit everybody. His golf courses have lost 19% of their value in the same 5 years. His licensing and management, what he does for a lot of his cash, putting his name on buildings, etc., has lost 30% of its value, again, between those same years. Now, the funniest one, I think, in my opinion, books. Now, Donald Trump has put his name, I'm not saying he wrote 19 books, but he put his name on 19 books. Starting with The Art of the Deal in 1987. Again, we know he didn't write any of those. Could you imagine Donald Trump writing a book? Honestly, sitting down and like, okay, drafting. No, of course not. He's got ghostwriters. So he had 19 books ghostwritten for him and actually sold quite a few of them. In fact, one from 2015 was actually a pretty big seller, making, almost, what was it, $888,000 in book sales. Wow. But between the years of 2015 and 2020, when he was president, he lost 87% of the value from his book sales. You become president, and the books that you supposedly written, but you didn't actually write, they went down. You would think that if you became president of the United States, people would be like, oh my God, look at all these books from Donald Trump. He must be doing something right. We should buy the books. No, the opposite. 87% loss. Total disaster, epic fail. So he's not making a lot of money off his properties, off his empire. Instead, of course, you got these tricky maneuvers. You got taking out loans, selling properties, donations from his fans, of course. And if it comes down to it, I think I see maybe in the next, 4 years, bankruptcy. And he could do all of that and still be rich, still have money, which again, it's insane. If you're rich, turns out it's really hard to lose all your money. In fact, it's much harder to go from not rich to being rich than it is to lose it all. Even if you're a complete blithering moron, it's still easier to be rich if you're dumb, as long as you start rich. Again, this country is so laughably lopsided towards the wealthy, and we know that, again, it's 100% by design. Rich people write the rules, and they make the loopholes to ensure that no matter what, they stay rich. And they make it easier to stay rich, but really, really difficult to become rich. Now, again, you can be the literal worst businessman on the planet, well, like, for example, Donald Trump, and your business crashes and burns, it goes bankrupt, makes hundreds of thousands of people lose their jobs, destroys your community. But the CEO, after all that's said and done, golden parachute. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Now, of course, that does not apply to small business, only the big businesses, because again, big businesses give politicians big paychecks. So the real W here in this story is not the fact that, well, he's losing money. Yes, he is losing money, but not that he's going to be broke. I would love to see him broke and ruined, but it's really just more of an embarrassment. He's embarrassed. Having to sell his crown jewel, that's what he referred to, the Trump Washington Hotel, crown jewel, and then having them dump the name immediately. Well, of course, we're not going to call it the Trump Hotel anymore. Ridiculous. What they're changing it to, I kind of like this, they're changing it to the Waldorf Astoria brand of hotels. I have no relation to the Waldorf Astoria. I don't. But hey, still, I don't really mind the change. Just saying. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.